All right, everyone, and welcome to 5th edition of D&D. We are going to be playing using the setting of Illumina and its surrounding regions. This is 5th edition D&D. Everyone will be definitely meeting at the guild hall. So from the most veteran character down to our newest, let's introduce ourselves.
That would be Alan. He's been around the block a couple times. He's Wood Elf Monk, doesn't wear a shirt, has a longbow and quiver around his waist, in pants and sandals. That's pretty much Alan.
Plan as usual. So next would technically be Auburn.
Right. Auburn's a half-elf paladin of Polor. He's in his normal attire, paladin armor. Technically a chainmail. He's carrying a kite shield and a morning star. And on his back he has a couple of javelins.
All right. Next would be Caradoc.
I'm playing Caradoc, a druid with a dip into barbarian. He likes to turn into a bear and smack shit up.
Can you get closer to your mic? You were really far away. It's hard to hear that last bit.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear us? Okay. Okay, so we'll move to Siona.
Siona is a wood elf who's from far away and traveled great distance and has a strange accent and a bit of a secretive past that some members of the guild know about. And she is always wearing this full plate armor. It's made from the dark metal and a large shield, and is a cleric who's befriended a few people in the town, but has literally been here just, I think, 2 days or something. She just got here and appears to want to do good deeds and help out. And it's pretty quiet, though. So that's Siona.
Well, don't worry. I'll have to change that soon.
Yep.
Caradoc, are you... is your mic working?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Fantastic. All right, so that leaves Caleb.
All right, so Caleb's a human fighter. He's from an Outlander background. He carries around a flail and a shield and 2 hand axes on his sides.
Any motivations for joining the Unnamed Adventurers Guild?
Pretty much just trying to find the beast that killed his family.
Caradoc, can you give us a round 2?
Sure. So, what? Just give my intro again?
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't hear the last bit.
Okay, so what I said was I'm a druid with a dip into barbarian. I'm a furbog as far as the race goes, level 3. I mostly prefer to handle my battles in bear form, but do have a quarterstaff and a few druid spells and a great axe when I need to stay in humanoid form.
All right, so let's get started. So you guys are in the guild hall. It's a fairly typical night. Those who require sleep are probably doing so. Those who trance would probably be awake, as this is probably about 5 in the morning. Everyone starts hearing a loud ringing of bells. Aelin, you've been in this city for an incredibly long while, and you know that these bells, when they're rung, means that the city is under attack.
Okay. So I'll be heading out quickly.
All right. You just want to head out by yourself?
Well, I'm not going to wait for anyone.
Okay.
Do I recognize anybody here that I would know? Siona, that is. I'm looking at the names. I haven't.
The
met.
only familiar face, there's only 2 familiar faces you would recognize. You might not know them, but you would recognize them. The one would be Caradoc. He leaves for long periods of time, but then he comes back at around nighttime to rest and then head back out. Aelwyn is kind of the reverse of that, I would imagine. He rests at the guild, and then he leaves in the morning, and then he comes back a few hours later, and he kind of just assists with some small guild matters. They're probably pretty low end, and then he leaves periodically throughout the day. You can assume that he's training or something, because he always comes back not fatigued, but seemingly having to work himself and slightly sweaty.
So I'm gonna say that I'd introduced myself to Caradoc. Say, Card, I'm Siona, and I'm fairly new to this place, but are those alarm bells? And after I've opened, we've been talking for a little while. I just introduced myself and say I'm new, and I was going to head out and help out, and then we heard this alarm.
So I introduced myself. I am Caradoc, and I'm new to the ways of man. I do not know what that cacophony is, but it hurts my ears.
Well, my background, it sounds like an alarm to me. Shall we investigate?
Lead the way.
I'd get up quickly and hustle outside toward the sound, or see if there's something, what the commotion is.
All right, so you're Aelwyn. This is, since you've already head out for a while now. You can already see that the guards are in motion. They're all heading towards the outer walls. People are combat and panic don't really affect Illumina the same way that standard cities do. So you can see that some people are very cautious now, but it's just more of a caution towards thieves than outright raiders. Because now that all the guards are gone, there's a lot of people all the guards are away, so this is a perfect time for thieves to kind of come out. you get about halfway to the closest gate, and you see what looks like a large fireball light up one of the towers. Some catapults, or I guess trebuchets, would be fired, and ballistas. You're almost at the gate, and you can see Captain Laria is heading your way. She seems a little injured, and she still has an arrow in her, as she's holding some sort of writing in her hand.
What's the danger?
She says it's those orc raiders from a few days ago. I guess they just didn't get their fill from last time.
Okay. I dash out there.
She says, "You're just going to run out to a full-on war out there? I need you for something else."
Okay.
She says, "Come with me, and I'll explain it all once I give this to Pincus."
Okay. I pick her up and I dash to the guild hall.
Okay.
That's
All
100
right.
feet around.
Can you lift and still move at full speed?
I got a 12 strength.
Yeah, you pick her up, and between her full plate and all her weapons and gear, well, she doesn't have much gear, but her weapons and cantrips and materials and such, it's not really that much possible to pick her up and carry her.
I can't pick her up.
But you won't be moving at full speed. But I guess even your half speed might be faster than
Half speed's still faster than her full speed.
probably.
Yeah.
Considering some of the injuries you see her have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you pick her up and you start heading back to the guilds. This would be the time, Caradoc and Siona, you see merchants and start heading away from the gate that's getting assaulted. You can tell which one it is because it doesn't take you much to see it. You're looking around the streets and you can see this huge flash of light coming from the north gate.
Ooh. Can I roll insight or something to discern its nature? Is it magical, or is it siege equipment or something?
The closest
fireworks?
thing you could do is make a Arcana check.
Oh. Nope. I got a 6. My Arcana, I don't. Okay, no, that's not going to work. I got a 5. -1. I got a 5.
I'm going all over the place in this book now. Nope. All right, so no, not really. The only thing you notice from the explosion is that the only really tip that your intuition gives you is that the tower doesn't seem to take that much damage from so you don't think it's some sort of siege weapon. And the only other help from what you can see is that it looks like the siege engine that is up there, which is a trebuchet, it's now on fire.
Oh. Something took it out. So I nudged toward Caradoc. You see that? There's something destroying the siege or the trebuchet. Should we go closer?
Oh my. from what we can see here, it's a raging battle. Does it look like there's a safe passage anywhere in this, or is it just complete bedlam?
There's no combat inside the city yet. And as for you guys are like an hour away from the gate. Or, well, according to recent information, more like 20 minutes. But this is just what you can see from the tower. Like, you see the trebuchets on fire from where you can stand. And you can see what's on the wall, on top of the wall, but you can't get to it, and you can't see outside the walls.
All right. So I'm just going to be upfront and honest. I was actually sending an email to work about something critical, and I wasn't paying attention. I apologize. So why don't the other gentleman take the lead? I'll follow, and then I'll try and keep caught up from here on out.
Yeah, we just witnessed a trebuchet being taken out, and I was going to go get a closer look at the at who's assaulting or besieging or this place. Will they let us on the battlements? Like, could we access the battlements in any way?
You're pretty far away from the battlements as well.
Okay.
It would definitely be a bit of a journey to get there.
Right. So I say, Caradoc, let's go check this out. Perhaps there's some adventure for you.
Indeed. So what I'm
ask for
wondering
both of you to make a perception check.
I'm sorry?
Perception check.
Oh.
I
think that bowl was messing with you, man.
15.
Oh, I was using it yesterday too.
All right, so Siona, you don't really see anything. Caradoc, you see just the like mess of people trying to organize themselves, trying to figure out where they're going to hide. They get in. As you, Caradoc, while looking through the crowd, you see a familiar face of you're not sure who he is. Not sure if you talked to him, but you see a veteran member of the guild carrying. I believe you met Captain Laria. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so you just see this veteran member carrying what looks like officials of the watch. So she looks like an official. She seems pretty hurt.
Oh.
She's got an arrow in her as she's carrying her in your direction, seemingly towards the guild, if you were to take a guess.
All right, so I rush up and let's see here. I'm gonna cast Goodberry, and I'm gonna give her a couple of berries.
Are you going to stop Aelwyn and her?
I mean, it's I can almost hand it to them in passing.
And if she requires further healing as well, I'm a cleric. I'm getting ready to cast Cure Wounds.
Yeah, so you guys are running down beside the two of them. You offer her the good berries. Despite Aelwyn carrying this heavy load, you can see that he's still moving almost as fast as you guys at top speed.
Impressive.
You hand her the good berries, and she starts eating them. How many do you make?
Well, I make 10. I give her 2. It's 1 hit point each. I was just trying to keep that arrow from being a death sentence.
Yeah, she, despite her she's kind of small-bodied, but despite that, she just pulls the arrow out of her and eats your good berries.
Okay. Well, then she's got 2 more health.
She gets, yeah. So you guys carry her back to the guild.
I'll heal her. I'll cast a heal spell on the spot.
Roll for cure wounds.
7 plus 13 hit points healed. 7 plus 6, that makes sense.
You don't get proficiency on that.
Okay, then it would be plus
Is it
4, so 11. I get your spell casting ability modifier 1d8 heal, it says. I'm just looking at the...
Yeah.
Oh, it's just your wisdom modifier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That's 4, so then 11 heal.
Okay, so once you guys get to the door of your guild hall, you set her down, or do you just kick the door open?
I set her down.
Okay.
I look at the arrow, like, what kind of arrow was it?
You caught it when she threw it.
No, when I healed her, I pulled the arrow out. I was hoping.
Oh, okay. She pulled it out herself. I guess
Oh,
if
yeah,
you're
that's right,
watching
that's
her
right.
carefully.
Yep.
Roll a history.
Oh, darn it.
Or have you fought many orcs before?
Yeah, not many.
Okay, then roll history.
Roger that. I'm not very smart, so that's my worst one. 15 minus 1 is 14.
In nature,
Uh-oh, I think he broke up.
Yeah, we're not hearing you, Alex.
okay, let me refresh real quick.
Yeah, I don't know if
Hello?
this... Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
All right. So, only thing that you can guess is that this might belong to gray orcs, who generally live in the mountains. It's strange that they would come this far down.
Does he tell me?
Yeah, I show it to these guys, or whoever's there. Look, the city's under attack. Orcs.
You see a flash of rage behind my eyes before I calm down and get it under control. Almost as if I was about to go unannounced into a barbarian rage and just completely lose control.
Whoa.
All right. Let's get this game rolling. So you drop her off at the guilds, and when you three return, Pankus is just telling everybody to calm down, to keep yourselves together, and that everyone's ever dealt with. And when you four arrive, Pankus and her immediately start talking. The little script that she has written up, and he's looking at it, and he if you could see dollar signs come out of his eyes, they would. And he says, we're looking for anybody who's willing to risk their lives for a great deed.
Will it involve killing a lot of gray orcs?
He says that's awfully specific, but it seems to be the case.
I'm in.
There's a glint from under the visor of Siona, and she hits him on the shoulder in her peculiar manner she has. Ah, see? Knew we'd find adventure.
Today I intend to find vengeance.
Ah, the best kind. I give out a little kind of chuckle.
Caleb's just gonna stand up from his seat and grab his shield and say, "All right, let's get going then."
And at this time, Auburn would be coming from the back, from his room, still adjusting his armor as he just finished putting it on to join y'all.
All right.
Mm.
Is satisfied with the two of you showing up again. And Aelin, you see three other members get up from their table. They're a group that generally works together. They're a little bit older, but take that many risks. This is kind of a different sight from them as they all stand up and say, "We'll join you as well." And one of them is a female wood elf named Urialis. One of them, the other one is a male half-orc named Tolkar. And another one is a dwarf male named Korig. Korig, as you know, is a wizard, a barbarian. Alice is a ranger.
So pardon me, that was Tolkar, Korg, and the first one was
Korig,
Tolkar and Korg, Tolkar. Oh, no, there we go.
Once you guys gather around the captain, she still seems a little fatigued from the injuries she sustained, but with her healing attempts, she seems able to fully compose herself now. And she says, "Now, this is incredibly important. The siege power of this raid is coming from a group of casters. We believe that with some recent assistance from the Wizard's Tower, we managed to conclude that believe that they have used up the most powerful spells recently. We can deal with the raid that's currently going on here, we hope. But if we can take away these casters, it removes the biggest threat to the city." Your mission will be simple. Work around the battle that is coming from the north gate. Find a trail to these wizards, chase them back to their homes, and kill them if you can.
Okay. So I guess first step is to get out of the city. And who knows where these casters are?
Captain Laria says they're heading to the north to the mountains. Heading through the north gate will probably get you killed. Well, most of you.
Are there sewers in this city?
She says, as a matter of fact, there is. Taking the aqueduct should take you right behind the place. And I have a report from another elf named Adrian. He gave me a report on where they went. I'll give it to you now. And she pulls out a little folder from her backpack. I would say it's more like a satchel in her backpack, and she pulls out a scroll and hands it to you. And basically, it's the map of the nearby area, and it shows you where he believes they came from, which is actually following the river north. From any of you reading this, it would imply that they came from the water. So they were underwater for what could be and what seems to be across the entire lake that's there, and then attacked from the aqueduct.
Oh.
We best get going, and I'll clear the way for you guys. And I go out of the guild and I dash out of the north entrance, the north gate.
Aelin, wait. She says.
Yeah.
She says, you're not going to get anywhere without the key to the aqueducts. And she pulls a very large key made of iron. It's quite rusty, and of course, it's a little moldy from mostly resting near the aqueducts. But she gives it to you, and she says, use it there. You can leave it there if you want, but you'll need it to at least get into the sewers.
I'm not going through the sewers.
Wait, where are you going?
Out the north gate.
She takes the key back and hands it to someone more sensible.
I take it. I'm going to kill me some orcs. Walking into a death trap doesn't seem like a good way to accomplish that.
I'll meet you guys on the other side of the lake.
You know, this group, Unnamed Adventurer Guild, will let you roll up a new character for every adventure. You don't have to commit suicide to do so.
Aelwyn's a 7th level monk. He can grab arrows out of the air and move 100 feet if he's dashing. 150 if he's using his full turn and key.
Well,
They have to hit me first.
He wants to do his own thing. Well, I'm not going that way, so I'll take the key. Or no, you took it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll hand it to you. Whatever. I don't care.
Oh, yeah. No, you got it. So
Yep.
let's get rolling.
She
Yeah, I'm
says
following
if you
them.
Yeah, she says if you don't know where the entrance to the aqueduct is, she points it out on the map of the city, and she says it's right here. Should be an old metal gate. It might be a little rusty and hard to open at first, but the key should open it.
When I get to the north gate, I'm going to dash and use key. I have 7 points of key, so for 7 rounds I can move 150 feet.
Oh. I was gonna
Um,
warn you, but not anymore.
All right, you get to the north gate, and you can hear, you can see some soldiers trying to hold the gate closed. You can hear a battering ram on the other side.
I'll go up to the top of the gate and just jump over. Long jump.
Okay. How much does your slow fall work?
It's monk level times 5. I can withstand 35 points of damage when I fall.
Well, that's definitely a dynamic entrance. That's for sure. Okay, it doesn't have any specifications. So you jump off the gate building. Like the soldiers try to stop you, obviously, but you jump. They can't catch you. And they just all lean over. You even catch the attention of the orcs. They're watching you. They think you're gonna die, but then you land on the ground, unharmed.
Yeah.
From the 40-foot fall.
Yeah.
And,
Superhero landing.
And the orcs using the battering ram stop and turn around.
Yeah.
And you're
dash
surrounded by
as a bonus, 150 feet.
All right.
It only takes me a few rounds to get completely out of crossbow range.
Are you going to initiate in any combat, or are you just running through them?
I'm running through them. Hopefully around them if I could, but I'll go through.
I'm gonna need more dice. fuck off. All right. What's your AC sitting around at?
It's 16.
All right, one arrow.
If I see the
Flies
arrow, I can
towards
use
you.
my reaction to catch it.
Yeah, you can see it.
I reduce the damage by... I don't think an arrow can do more than 17 points of damage.
Is this the same round you used for slow fall?
Slow,
both
the slow fall is a monk ability. I every time I fall, I reduce the damage, and I can use my reaction to catch arrows by a D10 plus my level
Is that
and
slow
my
fall
dexterity.
Slow fall's a reaction, but this is after he lands. So I'm not going to bother initiating combat. Yeah, so arrows, you're running through the back line of this large raiding group. It must be about 100 orcs there easily. The ones that are able to actually, you just see arrows and bolts flying towards you. And as you're running past one, like one could he is like 10 feet away from you. The crossbow actually backfires and shoots him in the fucking face. The orc you can see this bolt just fly into his own eye, and he kneels over and starts moaning in pain. You get to about the end of your round of your movement, which is basically you're past all the orcs now, and an arrow comes from a far distance, and just as it's coming towards you, you catch it. All right, everyone else, you guys get to the aqueduct. The key opens it. You hear the mechanism unlock, but just the mere amount of rust seems to be keeping it closed. Whoever's attempting to open this thing, make a strength check. Needed by one other person.
I'm quite strong.
I'll aid him. I'm strong also.
Roll
Okay.
athletics.
Gotcha. That's 15 with my bonus.
Christ.
If you're having someone assist you, you get advantage.
Oh, I can roll again then. Or I can roll 1d6. Which one is it again?
No, you can roll your D20 again.
All right.
No, I want them both to make separate athletics, but
Oh, okay. I just rolled a nat 20. But whatever.
okay. Well,
That was...
let's just see what he rolls.
I crit failed.
Okay, so yeah.
Slight opposite.
So we'll just assume you're assisting him. So Siona, Auburn is helping you, and between both of your actually relatively amazing strength scores, you just reef the steel door open, and if this didn't have huge iron bars built into the stone, you would have just pulled the door off.
Woohoo! Ah! I'm just... Is there anything behind it?
It's just the aqueducts. The only sign of this you can hear is you can see the door, actually, like the rust on the where the bars go into the stone. You can see actually break off, and you can see some stone being pulled with the rust, and you can actually see the iron bars.
Well, shall we continue?
Korg says, "Let's get a move on. Everyone's probably already there."
'Tis true.
He says he's kind of scrawny, but he moves fast. And
Right.
you guys start heading down the aqueducts. It's a fairly long tunnel. Aelin, you get to your spot in probably about 4 minutes after you hit the gate.
Yeah.
It takes at you guys making a hustle. You guys get there in about 10.
I'm taking a short rest to recover my key.
Okay, so you're resting outside. The orcs, realizing how fast you are and how you deflected or dodged most of their attacks, they don't decide to pick a fight with you. They see that you've just run past them and they're not going to stop you. You can see them continuing to use the ram, arrows being used. You see they don't really have anything else. You see some lower level shamans throwing fire bolts and such and using cure spells. Besides that, they aren't. Besides the targets you've been assigned to, they don't seem to be posing much of a threat to the city. 10 minutes goes by. You're not able to complete your full rest, but everyone else finally shows up.
Are they willing to let me complete my short rest?
The NPCs, Korig and Tolkar, say, well, if you're really that exhausted after that such a short burst, I guess we don't really have a choice. But Urialis says, time is of the essence. We need to get moving. I know you're an experienced adventurer, but the longer we take, the further they get away from us.
Further they get away from you.
She doesn't have anything to add.
Well, we best get moving then.
You guys can go ahead. I can catch up.
Okay. You guys follow the river. Anyone who has survival or investigation as a skill, you better start using it.
Okay, I got survival.
If you have both, pick one and roll for advantage.
I've got survival.
15 survival.
18 survival.
Just got a 21 total.
You said 21?
Yep, it's for Siona.
All right. I'm just rolling for the NPCs here real quick. All right, so Korig and Tolkar and Siona find the trail. And between the three of you, you easily manage to narrow it down to the river and follow the trail. You guys move about 50 minutes ahead, and let me go get the map and start showing you guys.
Am I able to keep up with them, or am I lost now?
Yeah, you're able to, like, it's not like you guys split up to make this roll or anything. You guys are you're all grouped up still. All right. All right. Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
So you guys are kind of this is kind of misleading, but the river technically would be right here, and you guys start following this area. Caradoc, just from previous experiences, the roads nearby. You guys get to about here, and you guys start noticing that some footprints and some wet footprints come out around this area and start heading towards up here, this forest. So you start following it, and eventually you guys get to the dusty road and follow it into the forest.
Sorry, you said the footprints are leading towards the forest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aelin, 50 minutes happens, and just from previous information, you know to follow the river.
Yeah.
You catch up to them at this area. So when they're just discovering that there's new tracks to follow.
Yeah.
And you head up into the forest.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys start heading into this brushy area, Caradoc, you know, you've been through this forest once before, almost entirely. So you know what's in here. You haven't seen any signs of gray orcs before, so you might make a... I'm going to say make a nature check.
20.
I got a 16 minus 1 is 15.
21. The bonus.
I got a 4.
You guys congregate almost immediately, and you guys know that gray orcs are mostly mountainous creatures. And looking through the leaves and the dirt, you notice some broken sticks that you can follow. It seems that the gray orcs know that you're chasing them, and they use magic to conceal their footprints, but they're moving too fast to ignore any debris. So you've managed to follow their path up to this mountain. And you guys are about here.
Interesting.
You guys start arriving, and you start noticing some hut-like structures. And they kind of there's like a mountain path that they built around and kind of worked on. And it's large enough to fit probably 2 wagons side by side up. So maybe about 20 feet wide. And it's just stirs up the mountain. It doesn't look like too many people are here, but you guys can see the gray orcs kind of running up the mountainside. It seems from their use of their magics and from running away from you, they are starting to get a little exhausted.
Okay.
I tried to stealth with the stealth of 11.
All right. What does everyone do?
I'm not great at stealthiness, so I'm going to hang back with Caradoc. I ask him, so what do you say we do next? We see the monk slipping into the shadows or whatever, right?
If your passive perception is higher than 11, you see him attempt to slip into the shadows, but you notice him.
I got you.
He's easily hearable.
So, yo, monk, what's the plan?
Just catch up to them.
How many sets of footprints do we see?
You don't really need to look at the footprints. You can see the orcs now.
Okay.
There's probably about 12 of them running up the mountain.
Right.
Okay.
Yikes.
Oh.
We could fight them.
Do they all look like wizards?
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. I'm going to have to drop. I just had a work emergency come up. Sorry about that.
Oh,
No worries.
that's too bad, buddy. Next time.
Thanks.
All right, so
He will be missed.
Caradoc. Yeah, Caradoc. Caradoc realizes that some of them are druids, and he doesn't want to combat some. He wants to learn. He wanted to learn from them, and he's not really. He's conflicted about what he needs to do. And just rather than joining the battle, he decides that he needs to counsel the spirits of the woods first.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, he will abandon the cause for now.
Yeah. Well,
Damn.
Changing plans. I'm just going to dash up to them.
Okay, you start running up there. Korig and Tolkar just are kind of shocked that you just started bolting out of nowhere, and they start running after you. Uriel is following behind them.
Auburn would chase, try and keep up the best he can.
Caleb's just gonna start picking up his pace a little bit and look at everyone behind him and be like, well, if you can't join him, or if you can't beat him, join him.
Carry on. Let's lead on. Siona's sad her friend has to go, but she's gonna now follow these guys.
All right. As you guys are chasing up them, they seem to hit some sort of level area and kind of fade out of your existence. Aelin, make a perception check.
19.
As you're starting to get closer to the top of the mountain, of where they stopped, you're probably about one level down, 60 feet away from where you can hear this. You start hearing chanting. Roll an Arcana.
Uh, 2 minus 1.
Some fucking mumbo jumbo going on up there. I'm not sure what they're doing up there.
I'm just chasing after them 100 feet around.
All right. You stumble into their kind of area, and you can see all the mages have stopped running. You can hear all the gray orcs panting, and okay. All right, Ryan. The gray orcs are panting from all the running that they've been doing from you, but they have all turned to face you, and you see 2 other gray orcs. Do you know a lot about orcs in general?
No.
They're wearing more elaborate clothing. The only thing you can tell is that they might be chieftains. One of them appears to be some sort of, I wouldn't call it scholarly, but he does have tomes and spells on him. And the other one seems to be wearing bones and leather, like not like leather armor, but fur armor. And as you approach, the sky starts to darken.
Uh-oh.
The other chieftain, the scholarly one that isn't channeling anything, he says, "You are a fool to come here alone." The other mages kind of start brandishing their arcane focuses, most of which are staffs, but some of them are carrying gems.
Oh, shoot.
I am going to say surrender and pay for your crimes against Illumina.
You and what army? And as he says that, of course, everyone, the 5, 6, 7, the other 6 members show up. And Korg says, well, that's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. So we see what's going on. We're confronting a couple of these spellcasters. So I'm prepping
there's
spells.
There's 12 casters. 10 of them are in the lower area where you guys are. They're kind of forming like a C in front of the chieftains. And the 2 chieftains are on a 10-foot platform. And one of them is casting a spell. If you have Arcana, roll it.
I do not.
I don't think anyone else does. All right, so Aelin, you see this chieftain. He's drawing in power and more power. And Korik says to you, that one's trying to summon lightning. Defeat it quick before he blows us all up.
Okay. I'm going to run forward and hit the first thing I run into.
All right. Everyone roll initiative.
All right. Wow. I rolled a natural 1.
It could be worse. It could be worse.
Yep.
I was playing with Paladin Oral, and his dex, I think he rolls like a 4 or a 3 on his dexterity. So
No, he has a negative. He has.
I was talking about total, but yeah, he's got like a -4 modifier on his dex, and like 2 battles in a row, he rolled both ones, and had a -3 on initiative.
Yeah. He has a 3 dexterity because he rolled 4 ones.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Ryan got 16. Galen got 12. Siona and Caleb, can you put your rolls in the chat?
Oh, of course. That's -1.
Ooh. All right. So Uriel is taking a cue from Korig. He's going to fire a shot at the chieftain druid.
Ooh.
And that's going to hit.
Nice.
The arrow hits him in the leg, and he still manages to hold his channel. She moves a little bit further back, hoping that and kind of takes some cover behind some rocks to avoid all the spells that are probably about to be slung soon. Next would be Caleb.
So I'm just gonna run up to the first closest orc and swing my flail at him.
Yep, go ahead.
So 6 plus 8.
Just a 8?
Yep.
All right, you spin your flail out as you're running towards him, and you swing it at him, and he steps back and avoids your swing.
Damn.
That means that's Auburn and the chieftain's turn. Auburn, what's your dexterity?
11.
Okay, so the chieftain that is casting the Call Lightning does indeed call lightning. And I believe that requires a save.
Dexterity save for half.
Yeah, so seeing you dash towards him and your reputation preceding you, he's going to pick you first.
Yeah. Using my reaction for evasion.
Does that just outright dodge, or does that help you?
If I fail the save, I take half damage. If I'm successful in the save, I take no damage.
Okay. That would, yeah, so make the save.
I got a 21.
Oh, yeah. So you guys are just watching this lightning bolt come down from the sky, and Eowyn, like, almost in a blink of an eye, he just steps to the side and dodges the lightning bolt striking from the sky.
Good job.
The other mage panics, and he's going to shoot a lightning bolt at you. Does your evasion carry over?
It's not a reaction like I thought it was. It's just every time I have to make a dexterity save for a spell or dragon fire, I can evade.
All right, roll. Well, I guess that one lightning bolt's impressive, but we'll see if you can dodge this one. And we'll see how well we can add to this.
I rolled a 12.
All right. As you kind of dodge this one, the other one comes almost out of nowhere as they both talked over each other to cast their spells. And the one shoots a lightning bolt at you, and you, even with your insane reflexes, you don't manage to completely dodge it. $16, 18, 19, half of 19 is 9. So the lightning bolt hits you for 9 damage. It's not a direct hit, but this electricity still arcs to you and gives you some pretty nasty burns. That leaves Auburn.
All right. I'm gonna run up and stand next to the fighter, Caleb. And as I do, I'm gonna put shield in one hand and my empty hand in the other. Place my empty hand on his back and say, "Polor, guide you here, friend." And you feel this bravery and confidence build inside you as I cast heroism on you.
How much temporary HP does it give?
5 temporary HP per round. Doesn't stack.
You know what? I was almost surprised, but I remembered how stupid strong your character is.
I did wrestle bear.
All right. Yep, it's as he says. You just feel this light well up inside you, and you are comforted by some force you can't recognize, only as a burning light. That's your turn. And that makes it Tolkar's. Tolkar enters Barbarian's Rage, and he runs over to one of the shamans near Aelwyn and attacks him. And that's... Let me see how strong he is. Yeah, that's a hit, barely, but it's a hit. All right, so the Tolkar smashes his axe into the arm of the creature, the Grey Orc. The Grey Orc attempting to block with his staff, but misjudges his attack and ends up getting cut in the forearm instead. And with that, it is Aelwyn, your turn. The Grey Orc that he just cut is staggers, and it looks like he was about to fall over, but his orcish instincts come to help him, and he doesn't fall over, and you can just see the instinct in his eyes.
Yeah. I punch him. And I crit failed.
Oh,
All right. All right. So you punch him in the jaw, and you kind of slip on some rain, and you can't get your full force behind it. And the jaw, from punching him in the jaw, you wind up taking 1 damage.
I'm going to hit him again.
Okay.
12.
That's a hit.
No. 8 damage.
All right. So so after the grazing punch, you just come in with your knee and kick him in the gut, and you can hear him cough up some blood onto the ground as he just falls over, probably dead.
Yeah. I'm using key for Flurry of Blows, so I get 2 more attack on the orc beside him.
All right.
18.
That's a hit.
He has to make a dexterity save, and he takes 8 damage.
All right. Yeah, that was a trip attempt?
Yeah. If he rolls higher than 14 or higher, he isn't knocked prone.
Well, his strength is surprising. You hit him, and it looks like he's going to go down from what seems like you hitting him. Just
it's a dexterity.
I know.
Strength is the push.
I know. He rolled a 20.
Oh.
So that blow normally knocks out people, but you can see the instincts flare up in the orc, and his raw strength simply cancels out what force you were going to trip him with.
Yeah. 16 hit?
Yep.
Yeah, he has to make another save. It's every time I hit with Flurry of Blows.
How much damage do you do?
5 damage.
Yep. You can see him resist your kick again, but you can hear something break in his legs, and even though it doesn't knock him over, he kind of gets dizzy and collapses from the pain. Is that all your movement and moves?
How much movement did I spend to get up to that point?
I would say 30 feet.
And how far away are the chieftains?
They're only 20 feet away, but they are on a 10-foot platform.
Yeah.
You'd have to climb up to get to them, or jump, in your case.
I'm going to use a key point to jump. Because I have that ability.
What's your jump distance?
I have a 12 strength. The step of the wind. I can use this to engage or dash as bonus action on your turn, and your jump distance is double for this turn.
Double.
That's distance, not height, though.
That's a long distance, even for that. I'll ask for athletics.
Natural 20.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you land on the platform in front of them, and the druid is kind of pushed back by you, but of course it's not an attack, so it doesn't interrupt him. So you're beside these two, this druid and this mage. Is that all your actions?
Yep, that's all my actions.
Caleb, you're wearing chainmail?
Yeah, and I've got a shield.
All right, I don't need to roll that again. The mage in front of you that attacked you, he starts chanting a spell, simple one. It's only a few words long, and he reaches out, and you see his hands electrify, and out of instinct and probably a bit of wonder, you raise your shield, and you get electrocuted through it. Fortunately, it doesn't really hurt that much, and the fear seems to be wasted, and you feel the light of Paylor dim a bit as you take 1 damage, but it doesn't seem to physically harm you. A mage steps beside you, and Auburn, technically, and he's going to use the same spell on to Auburn. Uh, 17 hit you, Auburn?
No,
I don't think so.
I have an 18.
All right. He reaches out to cast the same spell upon you, and you recognize it as the spell that the other one just tried to do, and you dodge the incoming attack as he reaches out. The static dissipating as he misses.
Whoa.
The third one on your side, he shoots some poisonous gas at you, Auburn. Roll a Constitution save.
15.
Yep, this doesn't really make you do much. You can smell the toxicity, but you resist it, and it kind of stings your eyes a bit. But beyond that, it does absolutely nothing.
Cool.
The druids start on the other side. One throws fire at Tolkar. Tolkar dodges it. Another one throws fire at Siona. Doesn't reach you. He throws it and it lands on the ground in front of you.
Ah,
Another one throws fire at Korig. Korig blocks it with his shield. And I skipped. Did I skip anyone? No. So Korig's last, and he runs over with his battle axe, and he attacks one of the druids. But he misses completely. Swings wide. And back to the top.
Siona's last with -1.
Oh, yeah. -1s don't get turned. I'm kidding. All
well,
right.
if that son of a gun, I guess he's too far away. You threw fire at me. Is there anyone else closer I could reach with my my flail?
The one that threw fire at Korig is reachable within your turn.
Aha! So I was casting my divine. What you call it again? It gives me plus 1d6 to my next. Sorry, let me have a quick look. It's a cantrip, I think. Oh no, it's divine favor.
All right.
And it. I was just looking it up here real quick. It empowers you with divine radiance until the spell ends. Your weapon attack deals an extra 1d4 radiant damage. So I say, have at you.
Is
And
it
I
a
also
bonus
get.
action?
Yeah, it's a bonus action, I believe.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, and then I also have my divine intervention. I can do 4 times a day for a bonus attack, but for now I'll just attack. Okay, so that's 22. 24,
That-
pardon me.
Well,
With
22 hit him, so.
Excellent. All right, so that does, looking at my damage, 1d8 plus 6.
You don't add your
Ooh.
proficiency to damage.
What is it? Plus
It's just your strength. It's just your strength modifier.
Yeah, I've got 20 strength. I have plus 5, and then I have a plus 1 flail.
Okay.
So that's 14 damage.
All right. So,
With your die 4 as well.
yeah, you
Oh,
got the
yeah,
back-
radiant damage. Yeah, you got it. 3 extra. 17 total. Ah! By Alestrier! How about you? I stave in his head.
Yeah, you basically smash his cheek to almost oblivion. Like his jaw is hanging down. And you can see him get like really dizzy. But this rage comes in almost right on time. And he, even though his jaw is basically just falling off, he gets some sort of instinct takes him over and he gets back to his feet.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Urialis is going to shoot at the druid again, the druid chieftain,
Nice.
and hits him. Dealing 12 damage. He's got to make a check, which he fails. So, Aelwyn, you're getting ready to engage with these guys, and another arrow flies past you, like right over your shoulder, and hits the druid that is channeling his spell, and it hits him so hard he actually staggers, and it breaks his concentration. The storm clouds that have been rolling in for a while now start to drift apart.
Ah.
You can also see he's incredibly exhausted after getting hit by 2 of these arrows. With that is Caleb, your turn. So this guy just tried to electrocute you.
Yeah, so with that, I'm just gonna take another swing at his head with my flail.
All right, roll.
And that is 9.
All right. This gray orc is giving you a hard time. You swing again, and he blocks your attack with his staff.
I'm gonna use my movement to back away from him.
All right. He reaches over to you with after blocking your attack, he swings at you with his quarterstaff, but he bangs your quarterstaff against your shield. After that is the chieftains. The druid one is going to cast. Huh.
Am I in melee with them?
Yes. He's going to cast a spell called Gust of Wind. Now, let's just find it so I know what it actually does. Okay, here we go. We're in the right area now. I like doing things like this because it lets me research spells. Gust of Wind. Creature. All right. Every creature within this line has to make a strength check. So you and Tolkar have to make a strength check.
I rolled a 10.
Yep. So he starts murmuring some words. You're not really sure what he's doing. And he simply points his staff towards you and thrusts it. You expect an attack, but instead he completes the spell, and you feel a very strong winds push against you, and you fly 15 feet away from him and fall 10 feet.
I'm using my reaction.
For slow fall?
Yep.
So you kind of hit the muddied ground from the rain that occurred earlier. It's still raining a bit, and it doesn't hurt you. You kind of land beside one of the other orcs, but he can't react to you. He's looking at somebody else. Tolkar, who you believed was somewhere around this area, is now 15 feet in the middle of the clearing. The other mage, the Great Orc Wizard. Oh, there it is. He's going to cast Melf's Acid Arrow.
Okay,
have you
sorry.
seen the spell before? It's a pretty common spell, I can imagine. Yep, so he makes an attack roll. I imagine a 13 doesn't hit you.
Nope.
So, yep, this spraying green arrow flies towards you, and it collides into the ground. And that's his turn. They both remain on the platform. Arbrin, your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna equip my Morning Star. And is there anybody in front of me or next to me that's injured? Enemies?
Honestly, I don't think anyone's been hit. Caleb got electrocuted, but Palor's heroism blocked it.
I'll just
There is one that's on Orc Ferocity.
Yeah, he's a little too far away for him, though.
I'm just gonna swing at the guy that hit Caleb.
Okay.
Lightning. 19 to hit.
Well, that definitely does it. Roll for damage.
12
Jesus.
max damage. Cool.
All right, so Caleb, you're getting harried by this creature, and you back off to regain some of your composure. And as you leave, Auburn stabs it in the chest. Well, yeah, it kind of just smashes his Morning Star into its chest and pulls it out. The orc is getting ready to fall over, but he manages to pull himself back up to his feet. And Tolkar gets back up on his feet, surveys the situation, and he runs back to the orc he was trying to attack and attacks him. But he throws his great axe across the clearing a bit. Well, he's going to swing his axe, and you guys, some of you hear a loud pop. And you can see that him holding his back as he starts kneeling on the ground. For all intents and purposes, he's considered restrained.
Oh boy.
Who's next? The orc mages. So the orc that got hit by the Morning Star, he's going to attempt to electrocute the guy who just almost killed him.
Did I lose my turn?
Oh, shit. What's yours? 12?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So I just try using my movement to get back up there.
Yeah. All right, make another strength check. Actually, Tolkar also has to make a strength check. Yeah, he fails it too. Not good for him. He's having a rough day.
I rolled a 6.
Yeah, so you get up and you attempt to get back to them, but the wind continues to push you along, and you get pushed back another 15 feet. Tolkar is rolling backwards, and you can hear him scream, "Ah, my back!" as he rolls across the clearing as well.
Yeah.
You are standing still, however, so you can still move. It's just now that you're, I would say, about 35 feet away from them.
Okay. Oh.
It's considered difficult terrain as well. So if you're moving straight to them, it will slow you down.
Can I move out of the wind?
Yeah, it's from what you can tell, it only seems to affect a small line of 10 feet, so you can easily move a bit to your right.
Yeah, I'll just...
You may provoke an attack from one of the druids, however.
I'll take it.
Okay. So you step aside and start running around. Wow. Green dice is pissed off at me today. The druid sees you running past, and he swings his quarterstaff at you, and he hits the guy that is entered ferocity, that is beside him, and the orc who was in ferocity with like basically the destroyed jaw, he gets dazed for a moment and then just collapses on the ground. And when you run up to the platform.
Can I get partially the way up there?
You could just climb up there, but the only available space is the space that you know is affected by the gust of wind. You can attempt to pull one of them down to you if you're brave enough.
I know which one casts the spell, right?
Yes, the gust of wind was cast by the druid.
And I'll still have my attack after.
I wouldn't see why you wouldn't.
Okay, so I'll just go up there and attack the druid.
Okay, so you enter the gust of wind again?
Yeah.
All right, make another strength save.
My dice is not liking me. I rolled a 7.
God damn it. So the gray orc is just, he just chuckles as he watches you struggle against the spell. You run over, you watch, he says, "My magic is all powerful. You cannot defeat us both." As you are blown back off the platform again.
Use my reaction.
Yep. Okay. So now it's the orc mages. Okay, so the one that you hit, Auburn, he retaliated, but I already rolled for him, and he doesn't hit you. He reaches out to shock you, and again, you've learned from Caleb's potential mistake, and you dodge his incoming attack. The other one attempts to shock you as well. Does a 20 hit you?
I guess so.
All right. You dodged the incoming attack from the one that you basically ripped his chest off, and you're not really paying attention to the other one, and you almost dodge out of the way, but he touches your armor with his electric grasp, and he shocks you for 2 damage. I'm going to need you to make a concentration check.
One.
All right. Caleb, you're watching Auburn get electrocuted, and as you see, there's some not too much steam flow off his armor. You feel the warmth of Palor leave you.
Okay.
Now that's Korig's turn. Korig is going to give a taste. He's going to swing his battle axe again. And he hits him. He hits one. The one that you were attacking, Siona, he swings at that one.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter what he rolls. He embeds its axe into its hip, and once he pulls it out, it just falls over on the ground.
Oh, good.
Actually, he was already knocked unconscious from the other druid, so he hits the other one and sets you up a bit for your attack.
Okay. I shall go in there again. I still have my radiant damage going, and I get 2 attacks this time because I'm going to use one of my wisdom modifiers to do a bonus hit. I'm a war priest, so.
Okay. Yeah, the domain ability.
Yeah, so I got 14 plus. Okay, that's a hit. That's 22.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit.
And that one will miss, I think. I rolled a 2. What? Okay.
Roll for damage and we'll see what happens. So, is your divine favor still up, or is it only last one round?
Yeah, I rolled the 4 with it, so I got a 2 plus 6 plus 6 is 14 damage.
Yeah. So you smash your what's your weapon? A flail?
Flail, yeah.
Yeah. So you smash your flail into his head, and he staggers back and confused and dazed. From the previous injury, you get ready to swing your next attack, but he just falls over.
Oh, good.
Between both of you, it's an outright kill.
Nice. Aha. Give out a yell of victory.
Korik says, the battle's not over yet. Get your act together. And he reminds you of the 2 chieftains that are still standing. Eowyn seems to be having considerable trouble with them. Your side is clear, but the other side as well is still being harried by mages.
Right. Well, I'll close ground on them if I have any movement left.
Yeah, you've got 25 feet of movement left. You're looking to cross over to them, but you see something strange about ahead of you. Roll Arcana.
Oh, again? Oh, no. 14 minus 1 is 13.
You see that there's this wind building up in front of you, and it's pushing directly in between you and the others. As you can tell, Eowyn is in it, and he seems to be having difficulties resisting its this powerful gust. As you look around to see its effects, you also see that Tolkar, the half-orc that has been journeying with you, he has his back. You heard the popping of his back, and he is also having difficulties resisting this gust.
Magical.
He doesn't look like a pushover.
Uh-oh.
Reading the spell, it says when you start in the line. It doesn't say anything every time you enter the line.
Well, whatever. I'm getting ready to brace myself for it. Trying to think. I'm just looking here. Give me 1 second. So it's some sort of magical effect. Now, can I tell who's casting it? Did I pick out which one of these?
Well, there's a lot of mages.
Yeah.
You can't really discern which one.
Right.
It's a pretty broad spell, too. You assume one of the chieftains did it, but you don't know who.
Right. Is it my turn? No.
You still have your movement. You haven't decided what you wanted to do with it.
Oh, I was going to close on the mages, so next round I can get attack on one.
So you have to round this gust, or you head towards the chieftains.
Well, I'll try to avoid the gust. I'll go to the chieftains.
Okay, yeah, you can make a straight walk to them. You're now adjacent to the druid, standing near the platform. Now that you're this close to him, it looks like he's the source of the gust.
Oh, I was going to cast grovel on him. Command word. Well, I'll wait next round. Would that disrupt his spell? Hopefully.
Maybe. I don't think he has to stop it.
Just falls prone. Says.
Yeah. Yuri takes another shot. Yeah. You see her shoot another arrow, and it goes through a nice, lovely arc above the gust and hits the druid again, the druid chieftain. The druid chieftain takes another arrow to the collarbone, and he's looking at it, and he slumps over onto the ground. He doesn't slump over. He looks like he's about to slump over. He hits his back to the door on his hut, and he kind of his eyes almost look like they're bulge out as he stands back up. Let me roll concentration. He fails that, so the gust of wind stops blowing as the arrow lands into him. And whose turn is it next? 17, Caleb.
Sorry, guys, I was preoccupied. What's going on?
Aelin's getting blown around by a gust of wind. Everyone's the right side of the battlefield has been cleared. Tolkar has his back popped, probably from old age, and a critical failure. Hew.
Ouch.
And I forgot to be adding my proficiency because monks are strength and dexterity proficient.
God damn it, Cage. All right. Yeah, so the three mages, the one mage that was harrying you before, he's turned his attention to Oberyn, and Oberyn is now getting poked at by gas and electric touches with your absence.
Okay. To switch weapons and then get into combat with them, would that require a second action?
No, as long as you drop those your weapons that you're currently using.
All right, yeah, I'll drop them, pick up my axes that are on my belt, and charge at that orc that's attacking Eowyn.
Yeah, you can run to him. You won't make it in that round though.
Okay, yeah, then I'll just instead of dropping them, I'll just swap them on my back and swap weapons. And
okay. Do you want to move to anyone? Do you want to move closer at least?
I'll move closer, as close as I can get with everything going on.
Okay, so you get to maybe about 10 feet ahead of Oberyn.
Okay.
Or not Oberyn, Eowyn. So you're getting pretty close. You're at the platform. You could, if the mage the wizard chieftain decides to do anything funny, you can hit him.
All right.
16. That's the chieftain's turn. He sees these arrows being flung around at his friend, and he decides that he has enough of this elf behind this rock, and he's going to launch a fireball.
There we go.
No, this is bad news. A fireball shoots across the room or the clearing towards the rock that Urialis is hiding behind. Yeah, that's definitely not good. 9, 10. She's got. Yep. She gets nuked by a fireball.
Oh no.
You just hear a loud scream of absolute agony and then somebody hitting the ground behind this rock.
Eesh. We smell burnt flesh.
Yep, she's on fire.
Well, I'm going to go to her anyway and try to cast my, if she's like at 0 hits, I'm going to try to sustain her with that cantrip of mine. What is it again?
Stabilize?
That's the one, I think, yeah. Oh, there we are. Spare the dying. Actually, it's spare the dying. You touch a living creature that has 0 hit points. Okay. It's not living, though.
Unconscious is still living.
The creature becomes stable. This spell has no effect on undead or constructs. Well, okay. Would that work? If I could do that's just I think my cantrip of mine.
Yeah, you could use a healing kit if you have one too. There's just one little problem with that.
She's crisp.
She's on fire.
Oh, right. Well, looking to see if I have a water flask.
All basic adventurers kits have a water skin.
Yeah, I'm checking if mine said wine skin, but I guess wine would work too. I try to put out the fire.
You're gonna use your whole wineskin, or you're gonna try to save some of it?
Well, I'll use however much it takes.
All right, you just start squirting the wine on there, and eventually it takes up her skin, but the fire dies out. She is severely burned. If you know,
boy.
make a medicine check.
Oh, I'm good at that. 26.
Yeah, you definitely know that if yeah, gotta keep it PG. Non-alcoholic wine.
Mm.
You know, if she spent even a few more seconds on fire, she'd be dead.
Oh no. So I'll stabilize her.
From what you can tell, you can save her life.
Oh, good.
She may have plenty of scars to have from this, but she'll live.
Yeah, disfigured. Charisma will go down maybe or something. Well, okay, I'll work on that. Cover me! I kind of scream out in my weird accent.
All right.
And stabilize her and try to save her life.
I think we just did a huge turn skip order. But yeah, when your turn comes around, you can do that.
Okay.
It was Caleb. He switched weapons. 16. The chieftain threw a fireball, right? 16. Auburn.
Is there anybody left in front of me? Or next to me?
There's 3 mages in front of you. The one you hit looked like it would have the strike you hit against the gray orc went down from just the sheer you actually ripped some of his chest out. You're surprised he's standing. Orcs are no joke, apparently.
Nice one.
All right, I guess I'll finish him off. If I can hit. 13 to hit.
All right. Yeah, that definitely hits him. He kind of blocks it with his quarterstaff, but your morning star little spikes kind of graze across the staff and just hits him in the side of the head.
Awesome.
Sweet.
You don't really need to roll damage. You can if you want.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, so even if you roll 1, that's 6 damage.
And 5 damage.
Yeah, you just smash your morning star into his face and he goes down.
Cool.
Ooh.
That's Auburn's turn. That means it's Tolkar. All right, so Tolkar is obviously in pain. He says, my bloody back. And he tries to resist against it naturally, but he can't get over it. It's too, whatever happens with his back is too painful for him to work to power through. So you see him kind of grab his back and kind of anyone who's watching him can see him push the spine back into place.
Oh.
And it looks like it hurts. It looks really painful.
I can't help him. I'm too far away.
You're helping somebody else with your turn.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you're like 10 feet away from him, but he definitely
Yeah.
just does this on his own.
Holy.
He gets up, and he's still in pain. But when he looks around, he walks around the gust and tries. Yeah. He's 10 feet away from the orcs attacking Auburn, but Auburn, he's right beside you. And that is Aelin. Aelin, the arrow that she shot has removed the gust.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you from getting back to them again.
I go back up to the and one's unconscious, and I'm gonna hit the other one.
All right, roll to attack against the druid. To knock him unconscious.
I rolled 17.
Yeah, so don't need to roll damage unless you want to.
I'll roll damage just to see how big that is. It was 6.
Yep, so you just punch him in the nose, and you can hear it as he hits his head on the door and drops to the ground in a seated position.
Yeah.
The mage is slightly worried that you're this close to him.
Yeah. I'm not knocking him dead. I'm just knocking him unconscious.
Yeah, he just broke his nose. That's the only thing he did.
Then I'm going to attack the wizard.
All right. He sees you punch that guy, and he says, "You wouldn't punch an elder, would you?"
I crit failed.
All right. What am I gonna do? Let's do this. Make a athletics or acrobatics check.
I got a 24 acrobatics.
All right. You overthrow your punch, and he grabs your arm and tries to throw you over him, but you catch him, pull your arm away from him, and you both kind of stumble back into position.
I'm gonna flurry of blows.
All right.
21.
That hits him.
He needs to make a dexterity save.
17 beat it.
Yep. Took 6 damage.
All right. He groans as you kick him in the knee.
11?
No. He dodges the second one, seemingly learning from his mistakes.
That's all I'm going to do.
The 3 mages, they're realizing things are getting pretty out of hand, so they're deciding that they're going to use some other spells.
How big is the ledge I'm on?
It's just a 10 by 10 platform. There's almost no room to move around. It seems for the most part that it's just there for them to talk on, for meetings and such.
What's the platform made out
of? Wood.
Okay.
It's tied together with simple rope.
Okay.
Probably used to appease the druids.
Right.
So the 3 mages, Auburn, that are in front of you, they change their gaze to select different people around you. And they're going to start casting magic missile.
Oh.
I believe it's. Is it 3d4 plus 1 or is it 1d4 plus 1?
It's 3d4 plus 3.
Okay, so they start.
It's 1d4 plus 1.
Yeah. So these missiles, you thought they might cast them all on you, but as it turns out, they're trying to plan ahead and set something up, and they start channeling. And eventually, at the finishing of their spells, Siona, you take 2 damage. Tokar takes 2 damage.
Ouch.
Korig takes 5 damage as it smashes him in the head. Aelin, 2 missiles hit you for 4 and 5. Caleb, a missile hits you in the back and deals 4 damage. So that's 6 missiles. Or 7 missiles. And that's 2 more left. One hits Tolkar and hits him for 2. He looks like he's pushing his limits, Tolkar. And the other one hits Korig again and hits him for 4 damage. Korig, the dwarf, goes unconscious.
Uh-oh.
And that Korig can't go. So Sienna, you planned your turn to skin on Uriellis. Is that your intention still?
Yeah, I mean, she needs to be stabilized, right? I have to save her life, sort of thing.
Okay, so everything that we talked about last time, you run over, you spray this wineskin all over, it douses the flames, and you check her body, and you believe that she can be saved,
right?
And you use your spell.
Okay.
To save her.
Excellent.
Top of the round would normally be Uralis. She's stabilized now, but she's still unconscious. Caleb, you see this mage, the mage chieftain, the Grey Orc wizard. Once he sees the magic missiles go off, he seems to smile. He's pleased.
Okay. This is the one that's on the platform?
Yep.
How far away is he from me?
He's 5 feet. You're just on a lower altitude than him. You could probably stab his ankle or something. Or, well, swing your flail and hit his ankle.
Okay, so the platform's not that high.
Oh, it's not difficult to climb because obviously these mages or druids have to climb up here. So it takes little effort to climb. But you could reach him from your position.
Roger.
And how many orcs are next to me on the ground?
None.
Okay.
Just him.
Okay. With my axes, I'm gonna chop at the ropes holding the platform together.
All right. Roll. I'm not gonna make you roll an attack. Actually, roll for damage.
Okay. 1 second here. So, got 8 on both of them.
All right, that's good enough. You hit one rope with the with your one axe. As you pull it out, you can see the platform shift. Everyone on the platform and the corner of it kind of falls down a bit. The pole is still standing up nice and strong, but the platform itself has like fallen inward, and you all stumble. And you hit your axe against the other rope holding it up on this corner. The platform starts tumbling down. Aelwyn, make a dex. I'm going to say make an athletics or acrobatics.
I got a 9.
Yeah, you and the chieftain are having like a battle of wits and experience and power. And suddenly the platform starts shifting on both of you unexpectedly, and you both fall 10 feet.
Reaction.
Yeah, so you slow fall to the ground. You land on some splinters, and the wizard hits the ground hard, taking 4 points of damage.
Ouch.
He groans as he's laying on the ground. Still lying on the ground, but of course you didn't get hurt.
Nasty.
Caleb, do you want to move or do you want to remain in your place?
I'm going to remain where I am right now. Just go at them and be like, well, that worked better than I thought.
Yeah, good job.
You're right. The wizard slowly pushes himself up off the ground. The Great Orc Wizard. He huffs and puffs as you can see the exhaustion in his body. And he starts running away from the two of you. Just starts climbing over a bit of the bars that are left. Caleb, you can make an attack of opportunity.
Am I prone?
Yes, you're prone.
Yeah.
Okay, because I have the 2 weapons, I get both attacks.
No, you just get the one attack
No.
because the other attack is a bonus action. So you just
Yeah.
Okay, so 17. But I add 2 because it's proficiency, so that's 19.
Yeah, you hit him. Roll for damage.
And 8 damage.
Wow. So you plunge your axe into his back as he's running away, and he grunts painfully as you pull it out of him. And he makes the 10-foot distance, and he turns around, and you can see his eyes are blood red. Good signature that he's on his last legs. And he says, "Welp, I was going to save my power for hitting that man, but it seems you want to die as well." And he starts casting a spell. Suddenly, at the point that he was standing at, you see the air start to fill up with spinning daggers. In the center of where he was casting, it's safe. But where the two of you are right now, daggers start flurrying towards you.
Uh-oh.
There is no save. Two, three. 9, 10. Caleb, you take 10 points of damage from these spinning daggers viciously heading towards you, as well as you, Aelwyn. These daggers are spinning around dangerously around you, and as you're laying on the ground, and they start cutting at you.
All right, I'm at -2 for hit points.
Caleb drops to the ground. I'm going to say, just for a kind of saving grace for this game, I want you to, I'm going to say, make a wisdom check and a con check.
Everybody?
No, just Caleb.
Wisdom and
These count as saving throws, so if you have any bonuses to them, use them.
well, wisdom's definitely lower, and con's completely lower.
What'd you roll for both of them?
So 5, 7 for dexterity, or sorry,
Wisdom.
let's see, 8 for con, and
All right.
4 for wisdom.
Okay. You're completely cut off by this spell, and you're left in shock and awe from just these blades spinning towards you. You get caught viciously by them, and from what little instinct you can convince your body to do in the last moments of breath you can draw and consciousness you can retain, you step back a few steps, and you fall into the ground. You are outside of this zone, but not by much.
Oh crap!
That was Caleb's turn.
Can I see? Tell if he's still alive.
That was the chieftain's turn. You're really far away. Roll a perception.
Okay. No, it's not going to do it. A 9 altogether.
With that perception score, you see the clouds roll up, the cloud of knives roll up, and he just falls on the ground. You can't tell anything about his status from where you are.
Gotcha.
So it was just the wizard's turn, right?
Yeah, that was the wizard's turn, so it's Auburn.
Yes.
Do I see Caleb go down?
Oh, yeah.
How far away is he from me?
10 feet, but if you move from where you are, you're going to be provoking a lot of attacks.
That's fine.
Paler deems it so. You move to him? Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh my fucking god. I say a lot. Like, okay, so does 19 hit you?
Yes.
You know what? Let's have this happen. Roll the 1. So the other one is swinging his quarterstaff at you, and it's like brink of hitting you. And the other orc's quarterstaff smashes into his and blocks the attack. You can hear the other one start yelling at him in Orcish, and they start yelling at each other. Auburn, you arrive at Caleb's body.
I knee down next to him, lay my morning star on the ground. I place my empty hand on his chest or back, whichever way he's facing, and close my eyes. And
He's on his back.
All right, then I place it on his chest, and the symbol of Plor on my chest and on my armor begins to glow as I, in Elvish or in Celestial, I start saying like a prayer to Plor, and I use my lay on hands to give him 10 hit points.
Caleb, you feel the world is dark as you know it, and you can feel your very existence drifting away. You feel this light. You see a light, and it's comforting. But another light comes in from a little bit to the right of it, and it's is rejuvenating in nature and almost inspiring. And rather than heading towards the first one, you let the second one guide you, and suddenly the cold world that you remember comes to you in a flash, and you wake up in this muddy ground. Auburn standing beside you.
I'll look at him and say, well, I guess I owe you a drink, as I grunt and try to get back on my feet.
All right. Next turn.
I'm also
Next
going
round.
to cast a spell. I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on him also as a bonus.
Is Lay on Hands a bonus?
Shield of Faith is a bonus. Lay on Hands is an action.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, you cast Shield of Faith on him. You mutter a prayer to him as you see this small barrier of light appear around him. It's quite corporeal. So,
And that gives him a +2 AC as long as I'm concentrating.
That means it's Tolkar's turn. He goes and engages with the two arguing mages. That rhymed unintentionally. He actually hits one with his great axe, even with the condition of his back, and he easily cleaves one of the wounded ones. And he the two orcs are arguing, and he comes in with a large growl and slices his arm off. The orc yipes almost as he goes wide-eyed, and even though anyone who could see the instinct kind of roll in, it glazes over and he collapses. It's Aelin's turn.
I'm running after the wizard.
You start your round in the daggers. Yeah, so here go. The daggers are swirling around you and they're cutting at you. Ryan, we can hear the music. Aelin, what are you doing?
I'm running towards the wizard.
Okay, you easily catch up to him. Do you want to move around so you're not standing on the daggers?
Yep.
Okay, so he's laughing at you as you're getting up, and in almost an instant, you're somehow standing behind him. What the heck are you?
I rolled to attack. And I rolled a 12.
That's a hit.
Ooh, he has to make a con save.
Yeah, he's not making it this time.
He fails his con?
Yep.
Yeah, he's stunned now, and all my other attacks get advantage.
Okay, yeah, he's unconscious, but if you want to make the flurry anyways.
Oh. He took 8 points of damage. I was trying to knock him out.
Yeah, you channel your ki into your strike, and you punch him in the gut, and his body freezes in place. He was already using his feral instincts before, so he seems to shiver as your ki disrupts his body, and his eyes glaze over, and he just holds in place for the normal stun duration, and then he just kind of slumps over and falls onto the ground.
Excellent.
The mage, seeing his friend's arm get cut off, he's like, ugh, Chieftain, we're losing horribly. And he looks around and sees that everyone else is dead or unconscious.
Interesting. Anybody? Can we?
Yeah.
You're
If
all-
you guys want to continue combat, he's the only one left, and it would be his turn, but he's just stunned that everyone else is gone.
I see.
That would mean it's Korig. Yep. So that's a save, a failed save, and that means it's you, Siona.
Now this last guy's too far away. You were mentioning.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to run toward him, I suppose, unless I could try to help. Anybody still able to save at this point?
The only other person who's down is Korig. There's
Yeah.
Tolkar, Auburn, and
So I'll try to stabilize Korg. Then I'll run over there.
yeah, it seems like the two missiles that pelted him hit him in the head really hard.
Right.
You can see some bleeding coming out of his ear.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to stabilize him. I can roll my medicine then.
Do you have a healer's kit? Then
Yep.
you can use that.
Okay. Yeah.
Just for fun, if you want to do a medicine check with your healer's kit,
Oh.
he'll stabilize automatically, but I just want to see what else you can do with it.
Well, I got a 17, so with my heal, that's like a 24 with the healing kit.
So this isn't out of the ordinary. You've seen these wounds maybe hundreds of times before, it feels like. And with your advanced knowledge, you actually managed to bring him back to 1 hit point.
Oh.
And he starts rousing, and he says, "Oh."
Hmm. And I say, yeah, you've been taken down by those dark mages up there, and there's still one left. But
He says, he's looking around, and he sees it. He says, "Oh, Tolkar's got him. I hope." And he starts standing up. All right.
And let's go at him.
Top of the round. Urialis is still down. So, Caleb, there's this one orc left.
How close is he to me?
He's only 10 feet away.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna walk up to him and attack with both axes.
Roll.
So 18 and 15 plus 2, so 20 and 17.
Yeah, those things hit. They hit good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 6 and 3 damage.
Yeah. So the first one sends him into instinct, and when you hit him again, it drops him to the ground.
All right.
Combat is effectively over.
Nice.
I take out my mage silencer and put it in his mouth and start tying him up with my rope. And I get the other guy and I tie him up as well.
All right. So out of everyone, who's helping recover? Who's helping Aelwyn claim the hostages?
After I do that, I go over to the ranger and Is it? Oh, here it is. She gets 10 health back.
Is that close to maximum?
Yeah, I rolled a 7 on my cure wounds.
Do you know medicine?
No. No, wait, yes.
Roll it.
I got a 17.
You're curing her wounds, and you know she's stabilized. And rather than aiming for your wounds to directly heal the damage that's around her, that's internal, which is for the most part not too bad from what you can tell, you start healing some other wounds so that maybe she doesn't slow you guys down on the return trip. And eventually she just wakes up. All of her equipment is just trashed from this fireball.
You live, though.
She
Am
gets
I
up.
able to search the dead orcs laying around the ground?
Yeah. Everyone starts kind of helping loot the bodies. There's 10 orcs, each of them carrying a spells component pouch as well as a spell focus. So that's, or divine focuses in the druid's case. So there's 5 arcane focuses and 5 divine focuses. And 10 spell components pouches. So I'll just write these down. 10 spell pouches. 5 divine focus. 5 arcane focus. On top of that, they all have quarterstaffs. So there's 10 quarterstaffs. Although anyone who's familiar with the market knows that you can only sell them for 1 gold, so they're kind of dead weight.
Right.
Well, you can use them for firewood.
You can. That you guys will probably be traveling through the night. So if you guys want to take them for firewood.
They'd make good torches.
Yeah.
Well, I do have
very
some.
long as torches.
All right, so you guys take their 10 quarterstaffs. Besides that, they're all all the normal minions. So there's 8 minions. They're all carrying 10 gold each. So 3 gold from them. A druid chieftain, he's carrying no gold. He has no gold on him. And all the tribal markings and stuff on him, non-magical, they're just natural items that he possesses. Though they make an interesting, they are of no use. The mage, on the other hand, he's carrying a whopping 300 gold.
Now, how many of these orcs are unconscious, or how many of them are dead?
2 chieftains are alive, well, unconscious. Everyone else is, all the minions, they're dead.
I'm gonna go to each minion and take a tooth out of their mouth and put it in my bag.
All right, it's pretty easy to identify an orc tooth. You just pull out one of their various tusks.
Yeah.
All right, as everyone's kind of collecting this stuff,
I see if the 2 big guys are willing to carry them back.
are you gauging by strength?
Yeah. Well, if they have a lot of strength, they would have big muscles, wouldn't they?
All right, so
My muscles
who
are
has
huge.
who has more than 18 strength?
I have 18.
Yeah, same here.
14.
All right,
Can we
so
practice kind of thing out of the quarterstaffs and a cloak or something?
they're all
and then-
wearing robes, so if if you want to take the the mages are wearing robes. Although in their condition, they probably wouldn't sell for much.
Can I make like a stretcher so I can like lay it down and pull him behind me using the quarterstaffs and clothing instead of carrying him?
Make a wisdom check.
17.
Yeah, you take the robes and you're looking at them, and the fabrics are they're kind of silky, so they're not generally used for such things. But you managed to tie it up in a way so that they wouldn't bend so much, so it wouldn't be like you're dragging the body anyways.
Right.
Make a proper stretcher out of it.
Good enough.
Do you tie him up with rope as well?
I tied him up with rope.
Okay, so you tie him to the stretcher, or do you want to tie him singularly?
I'll just leave him how he is if he's already tired.
Okay, so you just plop him onto the stretcher, and you're getting ready to drag him.
Yep.
All right. Everyone make perception checks.
16.
6.
All right, so if you rolled higher than a 5,
12.
yeah. So if you rolled a higher than a 5, you guys are just looking at this. You guys get a sense of a powerful being nearby, and looking up, you see a hooded man. He looks like a druid himself based on his staff, but he is just standing up on the mountain pass, just looking down at all of you.
Is he human?
Whoa.
Or
Yeah, good question.
What was your perception?
24?
You can tell it's weird to gaze upon his face. Every time you get a good idea of what he looks like, it's like he knows that you know what it looks like, and then his face changes into something you can't recognize. And every time you think you get a hold of what he looks like, it changes again.
That dude's freaky. Yeah.
Anyone who rolled a 15 or higher can see that.
Yeah. I take out my longbow and shoot him.
All right.
So he's a bad guy.
25.
Yep, your arrow sinks into him, and he doesn't seem to give a damn if it hit him.
411.
Yep, it hits him, and with your 24 perception, it hits him, and even though it was definitely like your best shot, almost your best shot you've ever made.
It was my best shot. That was max damage.
Yeah, basically the best shot you've ever made without critting.
Yeah.
It hits him, and the arrow, you kind of have to look at him again because his body is again continuously shifting. The arrow only seems to have gone in just by the arrowhead. The entire shaft is sticking out.
Does a 15 hit him? I get 2 attacks.
Yeah, roll for damage.
That was only 6.
This arrow bounces off of him.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Is anyone else doing anything?
I can't reach him, can I?
If you have a ranged weapon, maybe.
I do not.
Can I throw a javelin?
You'd have to get a running start. You'd have to run to him at least 60 feet.
It's too much work. I'm good.
Yeah, he just pulls out the other arrow with 2 fingers, and he turns into a what looks like an eagle and flies away.
Damn it.
That wouldn't be the first time I made enemies of a druid.
Won't be the last either.
Well, whoever he is, you better not shoot lightning at us.
Right.
I'd be
You
fine
guys
with
start
lightning
making your
plus
way
that
back.
magic.
Does anyone else need more healing ice?
Oh.
I still have one more cure spell. As I sort of take a moment and breathe, and you just sort of, everyone just sort of sees my wounds. Just, it's not magical, but they just quickly heal fast.
Did you only heal Korig for 1 health?
If I could give him a healing potion, I could give him that as well. So far, I was just stabilizing him. I used that roll to get him back to 1 hit point.
All right. Korig says, my head's still ringing from whatever hit me in the head.
I'll cast Cure Wounds.
Roll.
I have a question. It rolled off the table and it's in my pant leg. Do I have to take as it lies, or do I get to re-roll?
You fucking make it count.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I rolled it too, so he only gets 5.
He says, well, at least the ringing stopped. He can still feel like a bruise, even though it's through his helmet. You guys are dredging through the forest. Seems that the call lightning spell that was cast earlier has caused a natural rain to occur. And as you guys are walking through the rain, you guys spot another figure in the woods.
Uh-oh.
She doesn't seem to be hiding herself, and it seems like she's almost making an effort to make herself known to you.
I yell at her. Who are you?
She's wearing like a pelt cloak, and she says, maybe this will help. And she shows you her holy symbol, and recognize it as the holy symbol of Illumina.
Ooh.
Is this the girl from the other adventure?
Yes.
Okay. Just
She
making sure.
lowers her hood, and you see her blonde hair come out from the cloak as she tucks her symbol back around her neck.
I greet her by saying her name. Me as a player, I cannot remember the NPC's name. Anyone does.
Okay. And when you say Estra,
Eowyn does not remember her name.
she says, I guess you meet a lot of women, so I wouldn't blame you. I'm Estra. You saved me. And now I'm here to return the favor.
Do you know
The
the druid that just flew off?
No. It's quite apparent that the druids aren't interested in people like me. They say my faith blinds me to the needs of the woods. And I guess they're right.
Oh, I shot him with an arrow and he didn't even flinch.
She says, that was probably very unwise of you.
I've done worse.
She says, either way, I'm here to help you take another way out. The raiders are coming back, and they will definitely take you all by force. Well, maybe not you. She gestures to Eowyn, remembering how fast she was carrying before. She says, but everyone else will most certainly be captured.
And I can only carry one person at a time.
She says, I know it's a more dangerous route, but if you stay close to me, we should be able to get out of their way safely and without being noticed.
Yeah. We need to make our way back. We have the chieftains to hand over to the watch.
She nods, and she says, well, we don't want to wait for them to get here. And she throws up her hood, and Korig says, now hold on a minute, lass. How are we supposed to trust you? She turns to face her again, and she reaches into her pocket this time and pulls out a symbol of the Unnamed Adventurers Guild. And he says, oh, I'd never seen you before. And she says, I never went to the guild. And she puts it away. Do you guys just follow her quietly?
Yep.
Auburn would shrug to if anybody would look his direction and then follow her.
All right.
Mhm.
You guys see her cast a spell. If you know Arcana, you may roll it. Yeah, nobody can tell what spell she's casting. But from what you can tell from the spell's effects, you guys see like leaves kind of brushing around you, and when you guys take steps, it's dampened.
Uh-oh.
She casts
You guys-
Fast without a trace.
She says, I thought you didn't practice that kind of magic anymore.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying in game, I was saying to the players.
Okay. So it's as she says. Eventually, she takes you to a place and she tells you to stop. And you guys wait about 10 minutes as the Grey Orc Raiders start walking up nearby. They're about only 200 feet away from you, and you can see their torches as they march through the forest. Eventually, as the last one fades into the now encroaching darkness of the night, you continue on. Eventually, you guys are somewhere around here, and you guys actually went around this way, but without coming out into this open area, you guys dredged along a kind of underground river. It's really overgrown tunnel. You can see the sunlight coming from just the small gap that comes in from above you, and you can see the shadows of the orcs walk over you. And as you guys follow the hidden passage, you guys eventually come out to the road here, and the tunnel slowly comes up to what looks like a small stream, but kind of pools up around here, and then you guys hit the road.
So we're traveling
It's
back
now-
to the city?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. You pose, and she says, and you're safe and sound.
Thank you for all your help.
All I did was walk, and I was in debt to you before, though I would hardly consider it repaid.
I hope you don't have to be in debt to me for me to see you again.
I have always been near the shack outside of town where you've left me. I roam around nearby, and I only came out here to speak with the druids. When I heard that you were leaving, well, when the land told me that you were leaving, I followed you, and I waited for you down here. Nobody asks her any questions?
Let me think.
Auburn would just thank her for her help.
Yeah, I was curious about her knowledge. She already said she didn't really have that much information on the druid, right?
That would be correct.
Yeah.
I asked her, do you want to take another trip into town?
I'd like that. I guess I'll follow you. I'm sure the people who were housing me are worried.
I pick her up and I dash into town.
You go to pick her up, and she says, "Now hold on first. First, let me just do some things to make things more fun for us both." I gotta open up her character sheet. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. She casts Long Strider on you, so now you also move 10 feet faster.
Yeah. That dash I'm going to be doing is 120.
So you just carry her back to town?
Yep.
So you just run off with the girl, and Korik says, "Bloody hell, of course he would do something like that." And Tolkar says,
You hear
what do you
me
mean?
as I run off. I have complete faith in you guys.
I guess we'll catch up.
Alprin sighs loudly,
Right.
begins his trek, pulling this orc.
So Korik just gruffs, and Tolkar says, "I don't get what's happening." And Urialis says, "Of course you wouldn't, because you're an idiot." Says that's uncalled for. And he goes, and Tolkar, kind of annoyed with her, goes and helps Auburn carry the other end to make things go a little faster.
I nod my thanks to him.
So you guys are all forced to trek behind at a third of the pace that he's making.
Technically, it's
Why'd
a
I do
fourth.
that? Well, you can't dash forever, so You have to stop at some point. So you get to town probably about 30 minutes before them. The Long Strider spell definitely wears off by then.
Yeah. It was good to see you again.
She says, "You too." Do you let her down?
I don't have to.
She says, "I'd like it if you did. I definitely enjoy my feet touching the ground."
I let her down.
Yeah. So now that you're looking at her in your peripheral, you can see them rebuilding the gate. The gate's taken some heavy damage, but from what you can tell, it didn't fall. There are a lot of orc bodies littering the ground.
What type of weapons are on the ground too?
You're legally not allowed to touch them. This is Illumina land, so any dead bodies from enemies is considered theirs.
Okay.
I say farewell to Estra, and I go try and find the captain.
All right. You leave her suddenly, and she just waves goodbye to you.
Yeah. Well, she said she wanted to get back. I'm not going to hold her up.
She just wanted to put her feet on the ground.
Then I drag her along.
All right, so you drag her along. You're searching for Captain Laria, and you hear that she's at her barracks, dealing with some wounded. You can search if I'm not sure if you've been there. So
I've been to the barracks at least once.
Yeah, so you start heading there, and Estra just follows behind you. She obviously looks fairly displaced, but again, she enjoys the city's sights. Although the fact that thieves are actually being quite rampant is a problem. The Watch are definitely pushing their limits right now.
Do I see anyone thieving?
No, everyone's well aware of your reputation. You can pick out some thieves in the crowd and you recognize some of them. But once they spot you, they stop and they're like, "See, we're not doing anything. We were just helping this lady get home, right? Right, lady?" And she runs away from them. I mean, they're like, "Oh, come on." At least your mere presence is letting them run away to safety. As you're heading to the barracks, the other three of you arrive at the north gate. You see the bodies. This must have been at least the same amount that was the raiders that came back home. So you know that the Watch definitely won their battle. Even with the heavy casualties. Do you all return to the guild, or do you want to do anything while you're outside? Do you want to head into the city?
I'd take the bodies wherever, or the orcs.
Okay, so you head to the gate, and the guards, of course, come to you with weapons drawn, seeing the orc. But once you tell them he's captive, they say, "Oh, they're their leader?"
From what we could tell, they are chieftains. The ones in charge.
Another captain who's not Captain Laria, he steps up, and he's a big man, probably a little bit bigger than you. And he's definitely imposing, but to the watch, he's inspiring. And his mere presence causes the soldiers to straighten their backs and be more alert. That's the orcs causing us trouble.
What was that?
Correction was causing you trouble.
Says, I can see that. Thanks for the correction. Your name is?
Caleb Dragor.
I'll remember that. Hope
Good.
you like boot camp.
Well, remember that when I've got the claim on the tooth of that work there.
Says, bet you weren't the one to take him down. But that's neither here nor there. He calls over four watch members. He says, we'll take those orcs off of you. He's out of them. Unless you're going to put up a fight or for payment.
You'll get no fight from me.
He looks to the mouthy one.
You're not going to get a fight from me, but I would like one of their teeth at least.
He says, take them. They're not going to need them where we're going.
Gladly. And I'll just walk over to the one and rip a tooth out from front of his mouth.
They're still unconscious since they haven't really received any medical attention yet. So taking the teeth is easy.
Are they going to try and retrieve my property for me?
Do what?
I put a get on the wizard, so if he woke up, he couldn't cast spells.
Oh yeah, that thing.
If Auburn saw this or you told him about it, he'd grab it for you.
All right, so you take it off of him, and you keep it for the meantime. And the guards start taking the bodies away. He says, the imposing man says, hold on, take another 4 with you. The streets are hell right now. And another 4 make an escort to take them through town. He says, I can assume Captain Laria hired all of you?
That's correct.
Says pathetic. The watch can handle this all on their own. And he spits just on the ground. Says, by the way, good work. Tell me your names. Be quick about it.
Auburn, son of the sun. And then I stick out my hand to take his.
All right. He's got a very firm grip. Just by testing it against your own, he is equal strength to you.
I nod to him, and as we
he looks to Caleb. He's looking at he's of course the other 3 announce themselves. Korrig, Urialis, Tolkar. And he looks to Caleb and Fiona.
Yes. I'm Siona.
He looks to the mouthy one. He says, yes. Now that I know all of your names, he says, he pulls out a scroll. It's actually quite ornate for a portable scroll. And he writes your names down on it. And he says, did anyone else accompany you?
Elwyn.
He scowls at the name. Ugh, and he writes his name down.
You got Caleb?
Yes, I've got the mouthy one's name on there. He says, I'll make sure your names are known to the watch. If you need anything, horses, weapons, just let us know. But if you want anything more than the standard, you'll have to come to me directly or my smith.
What's his name?
There we go.
He says, my name is Commander Percival. I lead the watch.
Honor meeting you, sir.
He says, it's about time I got some respect. Gives you a little nod of approval, but it doesn't seem like much.
Will there be anything else?
He says, I won't keep you. I'm sure Captain Laria has your pay. The council favors her for some reason. Good at playing a good song, but that won't have me fooled.
Everybody loves a good song.
He says, I guess that makes sense. Everyone loves a good song, but it doesn't make up for the lack of duty. And he says, he thinks about it. He says, but her men do good results. But enough of holding you up. And he steps out of your way. So be careful. The streets are reckless now.
Thank you.
All right. He says, do you know where the Captain Laria's barracks is?
I don't, but I'm sure the rest of these guys will have an idea.
I actually don't. I've been out of town.
The other three say, nope.
I'm sure if you gave us a direction, we'll find it soon enough.
He gives you very actually roll wisdoms. Everyone roll wisdom. All right.
21.
And 7.
Okay. So
21.
yep. So Siona, Auburn, and Urialis, all three of you understand his instructions just fine. It's kind of just left scratching their heads, like, what? He's using a lot of military terms, but the three of you catch on. And you guys start heading through the streets.
Cool.
It's dangerous. You see people getting mugged. And if it wasn't for all of you traveling in a large group, you see some thieves kind of jump out at you, like, yeah, and then they're like, oh shit, and they realize how many of you are are there, and they run back into alleys and shit. Aelin, you arrive at the barracks first. You just see rows of people injured. It seems that the victory managed to repel them from the group. But I guess between some of the captains that were stationed there seems to be a lot of trade-off, as there are a lot of injured here.
I go up to the captain.
Esther says, I'll try to help some of these people. And she goes over to talk to the medics, and she starts casting a spell. You can see her cast Prayer of Healing, and it heals 6 of the soldiers, and they start rousing from their injuries. Captain Laria is outside. She's supervising, handing out supplies and making sure everyone's organized and not running into each other. When you approach her, she stops doing that task and hands it off to her sergeant, a kind of gruff dwarf. And she says, "Where's everyone else? Did you fail?"
No, I'm just faster than them.
So you defeated them?
Yeah. I knocked them unconscious. They're carrying them back. If they don't hand them off to you, then they probably hand them off to someone else.
Well, if they're at the gate, then they're definitely probably handed them off to the commander. But I guess that's for the best. He'll know more what to do with them than I would.
Yeah. There was two chieftains. One was a druid, another was an arcane caster. Wizard or sorcerer, not quite sure.
She just scowls a bit and she says, "Who's going around teaching Grey Orcs wizardry? That's so out of place." But I think that's a question for another time. Did you come here for the reward?
Oh, came here for the status update. I'm sure that they would like the reward.
Well, I don't have enough gold in my safe, so I will have to go to the commander's office and achieve the gold there. But I'll meet you at the Unnamed Adventurers Guild. But if you're wondering how well things are going, no one's been killed so far. And she looks over, and by the time you've had this conversation so far, Esther has already used up most of her spells. And you can see the room. Most of the people that have been lying on the floor on stretchers, they're getting up, they're checking their bodies like, oh my god, we're alive. And they're checking. They still have some some of them have small wounds on them still. But for the most part, you would say 2/3 of them are fully recovered. And they're like, they look to Captain Laria, and she's obviously surprised that they're alive. And she says, she quickly trying to hide her gratefulness of the situation. And she says, well, get back to your duties. There's still more injured. And the soldiers collect themselves as well. And they say, yes, ma'am. Pick up some weapons and shields and start heading out to patrol the streets. She says, as you can see, the injuries are pretty severe. Is she one of you?
She's helpful.
Well, if we can keep her here for even a while, that would be more than that would be incredibly useful.
If she wants to, she can.
She says, well, you gather your friends, and if she stays here, then that will be more than enough reason for me to go get your reward now.
Okay.
She walks over to talk to Estra, and the conversation is swift, just as swift as you leaving, because as soon as you hit the street, she's right behind you, different direction. As you're heading back to meet them, which is assuming they're going to meet you, you already see the watch already in full effect, and the soldiers are grouping up and pinning thieves and arresting them. Eventually, you get about halfway, and you meet up with the rest of the group. Just to kind of add to this. I'll just get out my calculator really quick. So each of you get 429 gold. Well, we can go through the role play later, but that's basically the sum of it. 2,000 gold is for completing the mission.
Who are the 7?
But you four.
And the NPCs.
Yeah, and the NPCs.
Gotcha.
Right. So, Alan, you meet all of them heading your way. Korig says, bloody hell, you weren't kidding. You do move fast.
Captain's gone to get the reward for the job. She said she'd meet us back at the Guildhall.
See you, Siona.
Yeah, guys, thanks again, guys. I've been just too busy here right now doing stuff, so I got to get going and get ready. Thanks again. See you next time.
Later.
See ya. So, Solkar says, well, if she says we're going to go to the guild, we might as well go there then.
I believe this belongs to you, Elwyn. I hand over.
He hands you the mage ball gag.
So how are we splitting these arcane focuses?
Korig says, well, we selling them for gold, obviously, and then we split them up.
Which is an arcane.
He says, it might be a while before we sell them, though. You guys just see thieves everywhere. He says, climate and everything.
Whoa. 1 second here. I'm just trying to find the. Here it is.
Okay, so the divine arcane focuses are staffs. So 25 gold divided by, so it's 12 gold and 5 silver for them. And the wizards were using crystals. So that's 25 gold from selling them. So 37.5 so far. And the quarterstaffs, I don't think this, yeah. So basically with all the quarterstaffs, which is 10 of them, that's 1 gold for all of them. And the hide armor is probably the most valuable thing from the 5 druids, which is, I think, only 10 gold. Yeah, so 25 gold from that. Even with everything going on, you still managed to make 65 gold from it. So you arrive at the guild and then sell the belongings, then head back. Yeah, 93. Yeah. I was just rounding at the time. So you guys are at the guilds. Of course, everything's still like being wrecked and dangerous, especially with all the thieves. However, as the hours kind of tick away, the general thievery breaks down into outright violence. You guys have been summoned to your local area to help defend property. Just general riffraff. None of them poses a real threat. They're all either commoners or just rogues trying to stir up trouble. After you guys settle things down in your area, it doesn't return to what it was, but it is silent. The occasional watch member shouting across the street can be heard as background noise. You do hear the music playing from the other building, but that's about it.
Cool.
So Siona is going to go look for her friend Car because she's worried about him. What do the 6 of you do? Well, I guess not 6, but Korig and Tolkar and Urialis, they approach all 3 of you and they say, thanks for letting us go on your adventure. It was dangerous for sure. That was no joke. But with your support and, well, direct approach, we were able to make it out. So each one of them kind of praises you for a small moment.
Auburn would offer the blessings of Polor to each of them before they depart.
Just gonna say, well, if you're ever looking to, I'm always available.
Okay. See ya. So after this, Aelwyn just leaves, as he usually does. This leaves you two to do anything you might want for extra stuff. Again, you guys gain experience, so if Caleb and Auburn, I believe you both level up.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, do you have anything extra you want to do? It's still dangerous, but you could lend your aid to the barracks if you want, Auburn.
That's most likely what I'd do. Unless there's something else that...
Well, you know that there's a lot of injured watch members. So, yeah, so Captain Laria comes back and she starts summoning healers from your guild. And you answer the call. You meet Esther there and Aelwyn's there as well. And you're all doing the best you can. Well, after burning all of your spells to heal wounds and your lay on hands, you're basically all down to resorting to checks and stabilizing with Spare the Dying if you have it.
I don't. I'm a paladin. I don't have cantrips.
Yeah, so it's a little difficult for you after Pelor's presence fades from you. but you're still at least supporting everyone else and making sure they're safe.
Awesome.
I like to do.
Well, I'm just gonna offer my help to the barracks, saying, well, if there's any scouting orcs nearby or any rogue orcs still being hunted down, I'll go hunt them with them.
Captain Larry says we don't have any more orc reports, and after you defeating the group of mages, I doubt we'll be seeing them anytime soon. Helpful
Well-
watch, however. So if you want to join one of the patrols, or protect this place even.
I'll join one of the patrols and use my experience with the land and knowing the areas to help them.
All right, so you're with this large mass of watchmen. Again, the other day it was 18 of them. Now there's like 40 of them. They're all grouped outside, and you talk to one of them. They direct you to a lieutenant who says you're going to be one of them. And he says, well, we need to identify you from the crowd. And he gives you a cloak of the watch. Now, come on, let's get going. And you march with them. And you take down what seems like you arrest dozens of thieves. And it's a pretty big day for you. They take you all across. Let me get out the other map so you know what the map. So, oh, that's not what I wanted. So basically, they take you through here. The barracks. Yeah, so they take you all around here behind the Unnamed Avengers Guild. You guys roll in through here and leave back through the alley. Go up the streets. The gods come back out. This is the north gate to get out. You guys come up through here. And when you come up to this road, other patrol here, walk down this place and send off your, as you guys continue back down Beggar's Row. You guys don't go down Water Rat Road because the lieutenant tells you that everyone's kind of shifty there and they don't have really enough manacles to arrest every citizen down there or every thief, because it's kind of hard to tell a sailor from a thief. Back down this way, go into Whaling Street, and you come out through this way. This place is eerily clean of thieves. Like you catch a couple thieves. When you get around here, it's eerily clear of thieves. There's no one trying to loot anything. Everything seems normal here, and that throws you right off from the mood of everywhere else. The watch says this place is strange sometimes. He takes you down this way. You go down Sunset Strip. You go down here. You come back here for a double take, and then you come back. And once you get about here, you head off to go find you return to the barracks at the end of the day. This is an all-day process. And at the end of it, yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna have to put in some titles for you guys. But basically, you go to hand in your cloak, and he says, "No, you can keep it. That way, if we ever need your services again, you."
I think I lost you there.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
So you head back to the barracks, and of course, the lieutenant tells you how well you did with the group. He leaves you. There's definitely only a few wounded people here. All the healers have been sent away. So it's just basically you and Captain Laria standing in the open here.
Okay. Well, with that, I'll head back outside the gate for the night and begin my quest to find the beast I'm looking for.
What kind of beast are you looking for?
Not sure yet.
All right.
Just
So
it's part of the background that I have for Caleb here.
So what kind of do you have any images that you can recall from memory, or is it too faded?
It's too faded. It was a long time ago, but the only thing that he has is a tooth of a creature he's looking for.
So how do you want to act first?
Well, I'll go try to find a hunting lodge or nearby hunters and see if they can match some of the teeth.
You tried talking to some commoners about a hunting lodge. They seem too scared or timid to really want to talk to anyone, even the merchants. Like they don't want to talk to anyone while they're traveling. They want to wait until they have their stands set up or their wagons out or they're at their shops. So you're not really getting much out of the common folk. You know the watch is busy, so you return to the guild and you start asking around. Urialis tells you that... Or sorry, hold on. Okay, so let me bust out the other guy again because I'm pretty sure he has nature. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Yep. So you ask the two other people that you traveled with, and he looks at it and he says, "No, I don't know anything about this piece." And Surialis says, "I've never seen anything like it."
All right.
You start asking around, and an attendant tells you that there's a professor who knows a bit about that sort of thing. And he said, the attendant says he specializes in monsterology, or so he says.
Well, is there a location where I can find him?
They just point you across the room, and you see wearing small glasses and wearing a wizard's robe.
All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna walk up to him and introduce myself and show him I'm a member of the guild. And
He says,
ask
"Well, you wouldn't be in here if you were a member. You weren't a member of the guild."
well,
He examines you again. And he says, "Well, I mean, you kind of look like a ruffian."
I see where you can see that in my appearance, but one of the new guys. But I need your help to try to find a piece of my past.
Well, what are you looking for? I'm quite smart. I do say so myself. Hold on.
But I'm just gonna hand him the tooth that I've been keeping, a little necklace under my armor, and say, "Well, the creature that has this tooth was the one that killed my family."
Well, yes, monsters do tend to do that. And he well, of course you don't know what it is yet. It's a tooth.
Yeah.
How large is it, would you say?
about a finger's length.
So fairly small.
Yeah.
He says, well, this could belong to a lot of creatures, you know. It's quite small. Could belong to a bear or a wolf. Wolf is a little too small. I would probably say a bear.
Well,
I mean,
looks like I'll
with the,
have to go hunting then.
he's like, I don't understand. You're just going to run out and kill all bears?
Until I find the one that's missing a tooth, yeah.
This is hogwash.
Well, then I'll find. If you're not interested, I'll find someone that is.
Listen, nobody's interested in killing all bears. That's ridiculous. There's a whole food chain dedicated with them. You kill them all, though. That destroys the food chain. Who's going to eat all the wolves?
Well, then I'll kill the wolves.
Oh yeah, killing is obviously the answer.
Until I find this bear, that's what it's coming down to.
Says, I don't even know if it's a bear. You're just taking my word for it.
Well, I was told you were the professor.
Says, looks like it. It will take some divining to be for certain.
Well, you hold on to it.
For all I know.
You hold on to it, and when you figure it out, let me know.
Let me check the spell book. That might be more useful. He says, before you start gallivanting around asking people about bears that have one tooth missing, he says, there may be another way for you to do that.
And what's this?
He's definitely put into a stump as he says, a spell I think would do it. But it's been a while since there's obvious divinations, but I'm trying to find one that I may be able to cast that may be able to help you as well. I'm thinking of locate object, but I don't think that works for beasts. Okay, so all right. He says, of course, I do not believe locate object will work in this situation. However, there is another spell similar to it, but I cannot cast it. He says, though, if you knew a strong enough... Right. All right. That as well as that doesn't. He says, there is another spell that you may be able to use instead. He says, with my general knowledge of druids, I can tell you that they possess a spell called animals or plants. You can use it, and you can use it on this with this piece, as well as the normal components, and it will be able to locate creatures closest to you, well, animals closest to you. However, certain there's a stronger divination of the same caliber called Locate Creature. Find a powerful druid in order to cast it. But however, if you have the tooth, you'll be able to use it to specifically identify that specific creature.
Well, then, is there someone that can locate the creature for me that's powerful enough?
Well, as you're in luck, I am in the accompaniment of the University of Magic, and I've no such a druid that may be able to help you. Unfortunately, this druid is not the one you will be looking for. He lives in a shack nearby. He says it's about a day out. If you go find him, he may be able to tell, if you convince him that your cause is worthy, that he may be able to show you where to find this powerful druid.
Well, in that case, I thank you for your help and get some rest before going out.
He says, but be careful. If you wrong a druid in any way, they are not above just, well, killing you.
I'll take the precautions. And with that, I'll turn and head out of town to find a little inn for the night to sleep.
All right. And I think that's it.
All right.
Well, everyone left, so to the one person who stayed and didn't have to go to another game or decided to play League of Legends, Ryan, I heard that. Thanks for playing. Hope you have fun.
Thank you for hosting it.
Level up, enjoy your extra gold, and hopefully I'll be probably running another game, but if you plan on joining that one, well, you might want to make another character.
Yeah,
So-
I'm planning on trying to join as many as I can, but it's the work schedule right now is trying to
Wonky at
interfere
best.
with me.
Yeah. All right. So thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks for the people playing, and we will record next time when we record.